Well, hello. We're live. The technical issues have been resolved.
We're 1 minute late.
We always,
Netherlands is with a wet
I,
noodle.
I know, right? I was here going to be here at 7. If it wasn't for Randy reminding me, I changed the time and I thought it was 8 and it was 8:15. So anyway, it's here we are, a few days before Mercury retrograde, and we have a bunch of other planets in retrograde. But anyway, let's welcome Juno back to the channel because we are going to do something different. Well, this is all her. She knows she's the genius here. Hi,
Oh, no, no,
T-Bar.
no, no. We're working together. We're all working together at this one. But thank
Yeah,
you for having me. Thanks. We meet so much outside of here that it's like you have to tell your brain, oh, no, this is not private. All the things to say or what to do. So it's really fun. But thanks for
yeah.
having me on, Valerie. I really appreciate the opportunity. And,
Oh,
you're a big part of this too. This is a joint venture we're doing here. So
I,
I'm
I
excited.
know. I appreciate you. Juno gifted me one of these readings the other night, which is called a personal tarot mandala reading, and I have it scrolling along the bottom. The information for Juno and both of us is in the description box, but these are phenomenal readings. I've had a lot of readings, and we hang out a lot, so we talk a lot, psychic talk, but this was so in depth, like it really covers your life. I mean, because it's a soul reading, wouldn't you say,
Oh,
Juno?
yeah, and it's based on your birth date and your birth name. So it's like, when we talk about the contract we wrote or whatever, you think about that. We did write our names and we did
Mm,
write our birth date in some energetic way because those are the things that we have. And you can also do it with the name part. You can also do it if your name changes through marriage or something like that. But
mm,
it makes the energies of these different cards that we learn are associated with your birth date, then they become a constellation. So it's that they're all, and a constellation means, things that are grouped and they're working together in unison. So it's really been, it's more for, this is not an intuitive reading. I mean, you can be intuitive with the interpretation of the meaning of the cards, but the actual,
sure.
what the, how you determine what those cards are is not done intuitively. It's done through a numerology system. So,
It's based on the numbers, right? And this is
yeah,
the importance of the birth date, the birth information,
right.
and your the name that you used, right? I mean, it was so me. I mean, even Gina was like, "Oh my God, that's just like you," and I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" I mean, excellent reading, and she did it in a PowerPoint form. Like you're going to see a small snippet of it tonight, where we chose Kamala Harris to do Juno's personal tarot mandala reading on, and then I have just a few points of her birth chart that we're going to kind of just tie in all together because if you had a reading like that, where well, it is. She does use the birth
It is
information.
astrology related also. It's not
Yeah,
as it's not driven so much by astrology, but it's like, as I talk about a lot on my channel, and so do a lot of people on their channels, and what I learned, especially through Jin Shin Jitsu, is how all these different modalities are related, and it's just like
right.
plugging in all those connections, and it was one more way to do it. So, and I find it's for someone, it's more if you're really looking, if you're stuck, or we're all going through all these wonderful changes right now and profound and how to assimilate that and how to work with that energy and what we're going through emotionally, what we've been through in the past and how to let it go. And I don't know, it just gave a lot of really profound insights I've found, at least the ones that I've, of these readings that I've done so far. So I took this and me and my nerdy ways with making these videos all the time. And so I like to make things that are kind of hard to grasp, maybe done just by listening or maybe just reading black and white on paper and put some graphics to them, and break them down into little sections. And so I thought, oh well, I'm going to do this reading for so and so, and this is the first time I'm going to do it, so I'll just make like 10 supplemental slides to go with it. And it turned out to be 111 slides. But it's a very complete reading, comprehensive. That's what I was looking for. It's very comprehensive, and yet there are still more ways you can go with it, even farther than what I've done in this presentation. Not today's, but in the when you get a reading from me, which takes about 90 minutes to really go through the whole presentation. But
it's deep and it's informative, and it really brought in some insight for me. I've been struggling, and I'll admit it, last couple months it's been, you just kind of get stuck in that ditch, right? And you keep, I'm thinking I'm doing all the right things. I'm thinking, but when in the end of the day, you look at yourself and you're like, oh, I might be holding my own progress back, So,
yeah.
I mean, it happens to all of us. I'm
exactly
than anybody, yeah.
But then we wake up and we're really awake, and then we go, and then we fade again, and then it's like snap to it,
Yeah.
Yeah, we all go through those cycles. So
so that it really helped me though, and I didn't know how much. I mean, I knew it was helping me during the reading. How many slides was my reading? That you
it was about 111. It give and take one or two slides, but yeah,
it was amazing. It was amazing. I couldn't believe how much it was. It was my essence, basically, but they're using the tarot cards. She's using the tarot cards. And we're going to show you, why don't we say hi to everybody? Let's see.
Yeah.
And
I think that Mama Meow is here. I haven't seen her in a while. I was just wondering about her today. So it's nice to see her. It's nice to see. I appreciate Butterfly Kish's Healing being here, and Sylvia, Chris, Laura Hunsinger, everybody. Sometimes I can see the chat, and sometimes I can't. It's my visual impairment. It's not that I'm ignoring anybody. So,
well, Jane, she's the one Jane asked about. Sterling says the timeline accelerated by 8 years.
Oh yeah, I felt that. We were talking about that right after it. I think in that practice we were saying that.
Yeah,
I know I was talking about that with somebody.
It was immediate. Yeah. We are on it flipped, and I feel for the better, but we'll see.
Well, you know what? We might as well feel it's for the better, because it's where we are, and we can't, we're not going back. I think I heard that somewhere recently. And I love the volume that it was just like, man, rock the house down. It was like when Queen did We Will Rock You. That's the energy that was at that event,
It was epic. It was just like, when that was announced, you could feel the energy throughout the planet just changed. I mean, it hit everybody pretty hard because it was unexpected, but my goodness, once you had a minute to like resonate and feel into it, it was probably the most brilliant thing that I've seen in a while. And it has brought us joy back. We have hope now. We haven't had hope since like 2015 in that arena of the world. Let's just say it that way. Well, let me say hi to Bora, Jane. Hi, Randy. Hi, Leah. Thank you. Leah says she loves being here. She said there's a lot of other channels going right now, but she loves to be here with us. And I think that's beautiful. Thank you, Leah. I know there's so many.
Barb asking if we should move to Valerie's channel. I'm attempting to do a simulcast, so I'm not sure if mine's going or not, but I can't be in the chat because I just visually I can't do it all. Right. But if you guys are there, if you want to help me get views on my channel, I'd love it. But do both,
Yeah, please.
Both or whatever you can do, please. Thank you.
And hi, Jenny. Hi, Butterfly Kisses. Let me get down to the bottom here. Hi, T-Barb. Cat Mama, it is good to see you. Haven't seen you in quite a while. I hope everything is, feeling better. It's been an interesting journey.
But we're still here. You know what I mean? We're all still strong. We're still together, and I just love our community and all the things the ups and downs we go through, but I'm feeling more optimistic than I have in a long time.
Yeah. I mean, our community is what has, this is my home. my
Yeah.
home. Yeah, it does sustain us. Hi, Chris MK. Hi, Laurie Hunsinger. Let's
Mhm.
see, Leah,
Hey,
I'm
Dave.
concerned. What's going on? I'm concerned that our ascension is more than we know. Will we die in this form and come back? I'm confused. Huh.
Well, I don't have any of those answers. If you,
Leah, I think it's
I don't know.
ascension. This is, to me, from what I understand real quick, is that as we raise in frequency on Mother Earth, we raise our frequency, she raises hers, the frequency raises. This is the first time, and I've heard quite a few different stories, that we're going in these higher frequencies with our bodies. Now, a lot of people aren't, right? A lot of people are choosing to opt out, and that's okay too. That's their soul journey. But that's a deep topic, and we will get
Yeah.
into it one of
Yeah.
these other days for sure.
Yeah, we're not ignoring it. It's just like kind of above the pay grade at the moment.
It's
But
a
I
big,
think that things are going to happen that we've never experienced. So how can we even imagine what they're going to be? Because they're going to be, and the more you just stay adaptable to it and don't stay so focused on having to have some perception about what it's actually going to be like, then you're not going to be disappointed all the time. Just
right.
be open, just go, it's changing, it's changing. I want it to be for the best and highest good of all and with love, and say that kind of stuff. But just allow it to unfold, because that's one thing that we're, humans, we always want to control it and make it be our vision of this has to be this. Like,
Mhm.
so many times you put out there and you ask for something and you end up getting 10 times what you asked for. And it was
Right,
just the fact that you opened up and asked for it. So
right.
anyway.
It's about going with the flow. I mean, I
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
had to learn this myself the other day. Thanks to a lot of my friends, but I was. You get wrapped up. You get invest. I was investing my energy into things that I can't control, basically, and uh, we're
Which is
here.
easy to do especially these days.
Right,
I mean, I think a lot of people are in that. It takes discipline to not be there.
right,
That's the easy. I don't mean easy like you're lazy or anything, but it's like the default.
right.
It's where we kind of go first, and but you can get there, you can get out of that but you have to retrain your thoughts, and it takes time, and it takes, like, each
Mhm,
time it's cumulative. So each time you do it, builds
mhm,
onto the next,
mhm.
and then before you know it, you're feeling a lot better. But it
Yeah, you
comes in
just
increments.
right, and you
It
just
isn't like flipping a
automatically.
switch. Oh, Chris or Sylvia, thank you so much.
I know, Chris. That's why I left that up there. That's so nice. Thank you for saying, for commenting. We'd love to
Yeah,
hear
thank
feedback. If
you.
anyone
Appreciate it.
gets readings from us, please give feedback because it really does help.
Yeah, it helps.
Um,
And Sylvia's such a sweetheart. I've met her in person. She lives not too far from me, so we've gotten together a few times, and just really love her energy, and she's
aw.
just wonderful. Just love all you guys. You're all so wonderful and supportive. A lot of real special people in the chat and in our whole group. Yeah.
Yeah, that I never felt the war, but it's the vibe was out there. It was I explain it kind of like this: we're at the end of an age. Let me just say hi, Liz and all. See who else is going on before we go. And as the end of an age occurs, how my guides explain it to me is that it's a chaotic period. There's
Hmm.
a lot that's closing down. You got to think of the age of Pisces. Each age is 2,160 years. We're going through a 26,000 year cycle, which is also closing down. So you got to think of all those things that are not life affirming, right? They're life negating stuff is systems of domination and control. Now it's all being restructured. It isn't going to happen overnight, but this is as the frequency raises, so
Hmm.
does our ways of being a living human here.
Right.
So the age of Pisces is closing down, the age of Aquarius is coming in, and there's this crash of energies because
Oh,
what's
we
no
just
longer
went through it. We just saw it.
right.
It was just like one minute it was this way, and the next minute, and when in a
Sure.
meditation or something, they showed me it was like the fireworks that they shoot off, that one that's like that big thunk, and it's really loud, and then nothing. And you look up like, what? Where? Nothing. And then all of a sudden, there's just like a poof, And then,
Yeah.
oh, this glittery, it comes down
Yeah.
something for everybody, you know, light everybody up. And it was like there was that in between time when everybody's like, is this a good thing? What's happening? What's going on? And I went,
Right.
oh my God. And then it was like, it was just beautiful. I just loved it.
I mean, it is. I mean, and that is going to be more the norm, right? There's just going to be more change this whole fall, this whole time period until January. Not
Mhm.
saying January is going to be the best month ever, but we're going to be out of a lot of this chaos. You know, there's a
Yeah,
lot
but you
going
know
on
what? But
right
just know that put that beautiful image of how we want it to be in the future and park it there. You know what I mean?
now.
Like
Right.
that's where our goal is. But don't expect okay, just because I'm not there today, things are down. It's like no, we're in this. We're in the slog. We know we are. Don't have to sugarcoat it, but just keep
Right.
focused on where you're going. And once what I found when I was moving here, it was amid all that chaos and everything. We were still under lockdown. I had to move an hour away, and I had to do it myself. And I mean, it's hard for me to get through a day without doing any of that. And adding that on was just brutal. But you got to do it. You load your car, but pack the boxes. And so I got into these sea shanties sea shanties were developed like so that they would be within most people's voice range, so it was easy and they were simple, and that was why they were developed to keep people keep them rowing or whatever, working
Mm-hmm.
in unison. And I did that, and I would sing these certain sea shanties to myself as I was walking back and forth, and I would say, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. And it was like walking on hot coals, you know what I mean? It was that extreme to be doing what I was doing, but I just kept, I can do this one step. And I would literally say one foot in front of the other and the next foot in front of the other. So the more we focus on that and empower ourselves instead of feeling like we're being dragged around, like a plastic bag when the wind comes.
And
You
it's
know,
hard not to, though, right?
it
Because this
is. Oh, totally. And that's the point of talking about. There is another way. We don't have to
right.
be, we're trying to give tools, and we were going to start at the beginning. Let's everybody just receive 3 inhales and exhales together and really join our energy because, we're not there at the thing with Kamala, excuse me. But we can join when we do have our energy together. Let's breathe some energy for her and breathe some energy into all this new divine feminine rolling.
Can I just say one thing to Leah? Leah, please, you
Sure.
never have to apologize.
Oh, never.
We're all going through it, and things are, sometimes I'm like, oh my God, is it all going to end right now? And you just pull yourself back
Yep.
in, and
Yep.
but those are, those are these
They're
energies.
valid. They're valid feelings. We're not saying they're not valid. But we're looking at other ways to focus on it and see what we
Right.
can make out of this because we're in it. So we might as well look for the positives no matter what, right?
And you brought up a really good point. What does that new earth look like? What does the future look like? And
Right.
get a picture of that. Keep it in your mind. All
But
right,
allow for spirit to fill it in the way it, to our best and highest, because there's ways we don't even know that we
right.
want, So we can do the
All right.
mummy thing, we're going to do happy and content wherever I am, if
Okay.
you like, but it just feels really nice. And we're just going to do 3 inhales and exhales at your own pace.
Okay.
And when you exhale, you can drop your shoulders and see how much that really helps you relax.
Ooh.
My dog Juno started breathing in real heavily in rhythm with me. That was really interesting.
Aw.
She was breathing right along with us. So thank you, everybody. Just like that little moment of centering for all of us. Hey, Pierrette.
Thank you, everybody. Hi, Perrette. All right, so let's get on to this. Kamala Harris. I'll just say her birth date real quick. Was born October 20th, 1964. She was born on a full moon, just so you guys know. All right, and here is Juno's presentation, and this is a
Wait, let's
partial.
go back to the beginning here. There we go.
Yeah, and this is a partial. This isn't the whole reading, obviously. Where she's going to hit some highlights on Kamala's chart, Kamala's reading. See, this is how she presents them.
Yeah,
I thought,
instead of it just being a blank, a black and white or something, I want to make it, because I think we take things in, and I think right now looking at something that's stimulating or interesting or whatever, I don't know, I just think it helps us focus.
right. And like you said, there's so much information. If you just received 111 pages, you don't really, I mean, yeah, it's interesting to read, but you might not feel it the way as much as if you could see how it's all playing out, like, visual.
Yeah, it's hard to hold all that in your
Visual.
head. And when I do a reading for somebody, I record it, and so you
Yeah.
can have the recording, and I can also send you your presentation, so you have that to go back. There's parts of it that I read that are, about each, the real in-depth about each card is not in your slides, but
Hmm.
all your basics are there. And so if you want to ever go back and say, well, where did this come from again? And then you might discover new connections that you didn't know about in other ways between the numbers and whatever it is.
Yeah,
I
you
just
know
think
how
it's really
everything's
fun.
connected. Yeah,
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
can
So
see layers of information. All right, so here we go. Personal Tarot Mandala for Kamala Harris, and I am going to. Okay,
okay.
here we go.
So we start off with a personality card. Everybody's got a personality card and a soul card. And this is how you arrive. This is how I arrived at Kamala's personality card, and it just happens through numerology to also be her soul card, and I'll explain that in a little bit. So you just add up the 10 of the month she was born, the date was the 20th, and the year was 1964. So that totals up to 1994.
Hmm.
Okay, and these are, so this is the first two cards in the constellation. When I talked about this is a mandala, and the mandala is also a constellation. These are
Okay,
going to be used interchangeably.
that is so cool. I
So
love.
her card is in the constellation of the Hierophant. You can go to the next page if you
Okay.
want. So if you add the numbers of 1994, you get 23. And because 23 is more than 22, so we're looking at only the major arcanas in the tarot. And when there's 1 through 21, but then you have the full card, which is 0. And that's either the one, the 0 at the beginning, or it's considered 22nd card. And it goes around, it's a cycle.
Mm-hmm.
So because the number 23 is more than the number of cards in the major arcana, then we add it again and get 5. So that's how come her number for the personality and the soul card are both 5. Okay, so if it added up to, let's say it had added up to 21, then you would then you stay at 21.
Okay, only if
Right,
it goes past a certain. I got you.
right.
Now, and the Hierophant, in case so we all know, represents a government official, right? Would you
Right, I'll
say
get
that?
to that. I'll get to that in a second.
Okay,
So,
I thought you
so the
wanted
other
to
thing
go.
is in for the personality card is the one that you want to reduce, right?
Okay.
And then, well, we'll go on. We'll see more about that. So anyway, this is for Kamala. This has the astrological correspondence to the Taurus astrological sign, and I'll pass this over to Val in just a second. But let me just go through this part. So the card functions within the Hierophant constellation are social thing. I'm thinking with Kamala in mind here now: social,
Mm-hmm.
cultural, education, freedom of choice, and learning from authority. I mean, it was
Mm-hmm.
like just so perfect. Like this was just written for her.
And her chart says the same thing. It's amazing. It's like she's a Libra Sun, Aries Moon, but she's got all this leadership stuff throughout her chart. You want to go to the next slide?
Did you want to talk about Taurus there? Did you?
Sure. Well, she has Jupiter in Taurus. Now, this is interesting. Is it okay if I go into stuff like this right now,
Yeah, we'll
Juno?
pass back and forth. Let's take
Okay.
turns.
Okay. So she has Jupiter in Taurus at 24 degrees. Now, on July 15th, we had Mars, Algol, and Uranus at 26-degree Taurus. So she lives with this, close to her Jupiter, but Jupiter, it expands things and is more of a, you know a benefic. What
Mhm.
am I saying the wrong word? Benefic. So
Right. Right.
it's your blessing. It's your lucky, you know, let's say Jupiter is the lucky part of your chart. Now, is that always the case? No. If you're doing things that aren't aligned with your soul, acting out can cause a lot of trouble. But we're going to stick with her. So this is about her beliefs, right? Jupiter's about your beliefs, about teaching, how you learn, the law, right? This is all Sagittarius ruled. That's in Taurus, which makes all those higher consciousness concepts that she can bring them down into and make them manifest on Earth.
And
In
what's
the
interesting is her cards is the Hierophant is Taurus, and her other card is Temperance card, and that is Sagittarius. So just how these things just line right up between the two, it's mind-boggling, you know?
it is. It's crazy. So, um, that Jupiter is going to play a big role. It's in the 12th house for her. Now, Mars has moved on, but Uranus is just sitting there. Uranus and Algol will be in kind of a background energy for about the next year. Algol isn't all bad, even though he was, you know, they called him a demon star. The thing is, once he was aligned to his higher self, you become a higher spiritual being. So, you know, there's
And it
good
depends
and
on
bad.
where it is in your chart too. And
Right,
it's not as devastating for like any of these things are like they're in
right.
degrees, right?
And she has it in her 12th house on Jupiter. So these things are hidden. It was kind of like the day we found out. I
Hmm.
don't think she knew that much prior to us knowing. They may have talked about it, but this kind of happened pretty quick, I think. But you know, the 12th house is hidden information, is your psychic intuitive abilities, are the things that um, you know, it's your imagination ruled by Pisces in the 12th house, right? So she is very connected, but brings it and makes it manifest on Earth in a responsible way. You know, Jupiter also can be our responsibility. So
That goes right along with the Hierophant. And the keywords for the Hierophant constellation are testing, counseling, training, assimilating and integrating, healing, guidance, bridging, which is going to come up later, translating, interpreting, channeling, and arbitrating. I mean, what all really great words, I think, in relation to her.
excellent words, because I mean that's all throughout her chart too. It's not just where this Taurus Jupiter Taurus is. She has this all of that throughout her chart in
Wow.
space.
Wow.
I
It's
mean,
so amazing. We didn't talk about, you and I didn't share any of this together before. We're just bringing what we have to the table. So it's
yeah.
so cool to find they're connected. So the name Hierophant means shower of mysteries, a spokesperson for the powers that be and in effect translate information to make it accessible to the general public. I mean, does that not explain her? You know, she's like so relatable to so many people, you know, and brings the, you know, just distilling it down into one word with for some people. And also in the Destiny card, she's the Two of Clubs. So that's like a, you know, the clubs are about communication and twos are even a partnership and working together. So,
I can't believe you just said that, because in her she has Mars in her third house.
mhm,
Mars and Leo, right? So she's a fiery sign, you know, action oriented. She has no problem standing up and talking. She was a lawyer, you know. I mean,
right.
you have to be able
Yeah.
to communicate.
Right.
She has Mercury conjunct her sun. Okay, her sun's in Libra, but she's got 1 degree Scorpio, Mercury in Scorpio, which is all about the details. Scorpios are very uh, detail oriented.
Focused.
There's no fluff in their words. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's all
Right. They
about
get right to the point.
right to the point. Yeah, that's pretty cool, because she has a lot of uh, she has the ability to be a public speaker. It's even on her ascendant is Gemini.
Hmm.
Her North Node. right? Our way forward, right? If you want to know your way forward, always look at your North Node. It is on her ascendant, her first house. So she's always, and it's all about communication. It's Gemini. It's about how you ingest information, how you share information, how you learn information. It's all, that's who rules the Mercury rules Gemini, which rules communication. So she has that in spades. I mean, public speaker right there. It's right on her chart. And she loves to debate, a good debater, especially with Gemini there.
Oh, yeah, she embraces it. Like, you know, that's her sport. That's her,
Yeah.
That's her breath, you know.
Let's see what else I wrote. And a person, she is, you know, also leadership ability comes in here, and a person with an obvious purpose. And this goes back to how she communicates with that Scorpio, Mercury Scorpio. It is the facts, you know, the law is very detail oriented, intricate, right?
Specific, yeah.
So you have to, I mean, she's just really, she's got this going on. Politics, society, that's her, I'm sorry, assertive communications, blunt, you know, Scorpio.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Very blunt. Excellent detective.
She says, you know, when she stops the fly man there, flying the hair, I'm speaking. Pardon me.
Oh my gosh.
She's so, you know, I just love her sharpness of wit, and, you know, how she just, they try to get her off track, and she just has a, you know, a small phrase that just puts it right back in their face and puts a little cherry on top of the tree, you know.
And that's at Mars in Leo, right? It's the third house too. I mean, she is an orator, you know, like you have the ability to bring it on and debate, you know, and discuss. It's just unbelievable. She is the more I read her chart today, the more I was like,
I know. It's like, oh my God, I can't wait to tell everybody about this.
It's like, this is what she's made for, you know?
Yeah.
Really, this is her, and she is in a phase of her life. She just had her Saturn return, which we could say Saturn, it could represent the Hierophant too, right? But
no, that's the next card. That'll be the other card.
Oh,
but yeah, this is her personality card. But the Hierophant is also known as a bridge maker. What a perfect word.
I mean,
communicates what is mysterious or strange to others so that they will all have the opportunity to experience it too. I just think that is so cool. She's a storyteller and a good listener.
Yeah.
So if you look at the mudra, okay, up here in the Hierophant's hand, the way he's got his hand like that. Okay, so the two fingers on the right hand upright indicate what is said, and the three closed fingers indicate understanding of what is not said.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
Isn't that cool? I thought that was like, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. I mean, every time you look at a tarot card, I swear I learn something new all the time. It's so cool.
I love doing the research for these things. You're like, oh my God, I can't wait to tell everybody. So some people call this the staff that he has. Some people call it a bishop's cross, but it's a pope's cross. A bishop's cross has only 2 of these crosses on it, and the pope's cross has 3. And it demonstrates the 4 levels, including the top circle of spirit of every statement. And also there are 4 ways to teach or learn anything: through hearing, doing, reading words, seeing pictures or diagrams. But she is the 5th element, the one who understands and adapts her teaching to those she teaches. So she meets people at their level. And boy, does she ever, as far as I'm concerned.
Yes, Lori just pointed out there is her number 5 again. That's and I mean, you know,
that's how we got this card, is through the numerology, and then we get the major arcana card that associates with that number. That's how this is her personality card. So Let's see. So back to this being the Pope's cross here, you know, yeah, not the bishop's cross, but the Pope's cross. It says it's reserved for the Pope as spiritual leader. And the card says not to be sheep, but shepherds. But that was pretty cool.
That is.
And fives have highly developed conscience and a strong sense of morals and values.
Yeah. And the astrology that I learned is a step system, and 5 is ruled by Mercury. It's about communication. It's about how you get your information. Really cool. How it all just, every little detail, you can just find all these details that really click into place and show you this person. I mean, when she did my reading the other day, I couldn't believe how spot on it was.
No, thanks.
You want me to go next card? Oh,
no, I'm not done yet. Now we have to go back to the Hierophant, because now that was her as the personality. Okay, this is who she is, but also her soul card is the 5, is the Hierophant.
Really?
So, yeah. So it's her purpose is to develop her own authority via an inner sense. Excuse me, let me start that again. Her purpose is to develop her own authority via an inner self that speaks with the innocence of a child and the wisdom of her inner high priestess.
Wow. Now see, and that goes right along with her. She has Saturn in Aquarius right next to her midheaven, but her midheaven is in Pisces. So she has 28-degree Saturn in Aquarius. Okay, we're going into the age of Aquarius. All of us have Aquarius. All of us have all signs or something there, right? But for her to have Saturn there, which is her structure, which is responsibility, she's a humanitarian. She wants to, it's all about ideas on how to improve others' lives. This is in the 9th house of higher learning, right? Again, higher consciousness, intellect, law, right? I mean, these things will just keep weaving through the chart. Very progressive, innovative, brings new ideas to life, committed to the collective consciousness, committed to the collective. Underneath it shows a unique person. Comes to their structures, to their understanding on how to do life day in, day out, which is what Saturn is. Comes to a whole new way of, placing those boundaries where they fit for you. Right? But it's it's for the collective. Anybody with any Aquarius, we have that part of us that wants to save the world, free the world. What can we do to fix the world? That's that Aquarius, and that's the energy that we're going into collectively. But she has that right next to her midheaven, Pisces, which is, to me, is where our higher self, where our higher knowledge comes in, where our inspiration, our ideas, all of that comes into our awareness. And maybe I'll go to law school, or, you kind of get the nudges from there. And because without imagination, you're not creating anything. So that our higher self helps us, guides us through this journey as we're in form and they're not. So having that conjunct right next to Pisces, which is there is no end, there's no beginning. It's all vast, open space, but very intuitive, very psychic, very connected, instinct, which I think she's very intuitively connected. She might know, but I look at people in that position, and I don't think they know that they're psychic, even though we all are on some level, but she really does have that. And that Saturn, not only is it conjunct her midheaven at 2 degrees Pisces, and it's conjunct her Vesta, and her Vesta is the part of the divine inside of all of us that we nurture. So it's, the divine is right there next to her midheaven, which is her higher self, her spirit team, Mother, Father, God, however you want to label that, and her Saturn. So it's, yeah, this is my responsibility, my structure, but it's based to me in a spiritual context.
Well, it's interesting that you were talking about higher self, because the next thing I wrote was, when you act in accord with your highest potential, you transmit information from the higher self into the physical world.
Exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
In the midheaven. That's what I think. Yeah, and it is. It's the higher mind.
Yeah.
And that midheaven gives you that, you know, in Pisces gives you that empathic ability to feel another situation, to feel, you know, every situation has a certain feel to it, right? And she's consciously connected, follows the opportunities that arise because of these things, right? You're in the public eye. It's like she follows through, is what I wanted to say, on helping others, she's been our vice president now for a while.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
We haven't even heard really much of what she's done, you know, so,
yeah.
And she's a hard worker. So
Definitely. Well, I was going to look at some more of the symbolism on this card. The gray columns mark out a larger building, an academy, a community of believers, an opportunity of sustainability. The gray color is equanimity and tolerance. I mean, just really wonderful words for her. The tiara, or the threefold crown, is the papal crown, and it's the term Pontifex Maximus means great bridge builder. So back again, another reference to being a bridge builder. And I think that's what we need, both our physical infrastructure and also building bridges with other countries, building bridges, you know, maybe even galactically, building bridges with people who think differently. The three crosses on the robe are the Trinity of the goddess, the Virgin, the Mother, and the Queen. Okay.
She came up as a warrior quite a bit. She has her moon is in Aries, you know, and she has that Mars in Leo. She is a goddess. She has no problem standing in her power either. When you were talking about the building and the equanimity of the color, you can see it looks balanced there, right? Well, she's a Libra.
Right.
Okay, she's a Libra, and they are balanced. They're about justice. She has it in the 5th house. Okay, now she's a Libra, but the 5th house is the ruler is Leo, right? So anybody who has, I take Leo, then I put Libra on top of it. So you take that foundation of being heart-centered because they care. Leos have a heart. That's what they're known for. We're in Leo season right now. That you can see it in her, though.
Definitely.
That heart about her, and she does care. She does want fairness. Let's bring in the fairness here, you know. And well, go ahead. Yeah.
Well, this is her hidden factor card. This is the Temperance card. So Temperance is 14, 1 and 4 is 5. So that's how we find this number. Okay. And it's also in the constellation of the Hierophant. And like I said, the astrological correspondence is Sagittarius. And this card functions within the constellation in terms of spiritual education, freedom of action, and learning by experience. Now, the Hierophant card was freedom of choice, and she has freedom of action, both of those. And boy, do we need those.
Wow.
The principle of teaching and learning is what's important for this constellation. And the soul archetype is spirit, teacher, and morality. You know, it's like I didn't have to try to squeeze any of these things in to fit her as far as I was concerned. I think it was all pretty amazing. But The Temperance card is a hidden factor. Compassion is the greatest teacher of this card. And along with healing, they represent this constellation's bright shadow aspects. So those are the things that, you know, we all have a shadow side, but we have a dark shadow side and a bright shadow side. And the bright shadow side, as I understand it, is kind of things that are, you know, maybe we're too humble to say, you know what I mean? Like, oh, you know, we don't want to look at that and see that there's something really fantastic about us, but we keep denying it, kind of thing. And that doesn't serve us any more than letting the dark part of shadow affect us that way. So she's good at cynical humor and wisecracks. I thought that was going back to what we were talking about with having a quick response. What you can do best to aid in alleviating suffering in yourself and the world around you.
Yeah.
You know, let's pray that that's true, because that's certainly the vibe I get from her personally.
Yeah.
Temperance is one of the cardinal virtues, and its themes are finding the right measure and aiming for the highest goals in life, which she certainly has done well with reaching her goals, I would say.
Yeah.
And then when you look at how the angel there is pouring the water back and forth, it's the grasping the contradictions in life with both hands. So she's going to be able to moderate all this. You know, there's such polarity. I think she's going to be able to keep blending it back and forth.
Yes, I mean, she has spirit all throughout her chart. She's connected, like with her midheaven, definitely. She has, well, when you get to that, I'll go to there. So that Libra, though, right? Libra, she has Mercury, and she has Neptune, which I consider spirit in my charts, in Scorpio. So she really understands, like Neptune in Scorpio is somebody who like may even have majored in world religions just to learn all of it. But look, she majored in law. You know, that's a lot to learn. That spirit always infused with her, no matter where it's at in her chart. Her south node is right conjunct the galactic center, which to me, south node is what you're a master in. And with it being conjunct the galactic center, it's like she is divinely connected. You know, you see that higher information. You just, I mean, it's just natural. A lot of us do this anyway. And we always have some point in our chart where spirit is, but you really got a few good points in here.
It says she's changing the world and having fun doing it. And man, is that ever, I just love this. What, you know, it's so amazing. Now, if I had tried to do her chart 2 or 3 weeks ago, I wouldn't have, you know, it wouldn't have been the same.
Right.
You know, or do her mandala. It's really not a chart, more of a mandala. But so this is about the marriage between heaven and earth. And the greatest works, however, are lifelong tasks portrayed by the long road. See, there's a long, this is a road right here. It goes up towards the sun. It says, undertakings which are so large that they take up a whole lifespan. And that really describes her trajectory, I think.
Wow.
The goals, which is the goals which awaken the angel within you, your higher self, your greatest potential, and bring it to fruition. Let's see.
And that, you know, that goes with, she does, she has a purpose-driven life. Like, she was one of those people that just knows what they want to do. She knew, worked for it, and she worked her butt off for it, too. Driven towards a destiny, very passionate, responsible communications, too. Like, again, back to that Scorpio, Mercury and Scorpio. They don't mince words. She just had her own goals, knew her way forward. And I know she knows she's connected to spirit. You know?
And the next thing I have written down is your deeds create new facts. And how appropriate is that right now with all this alternative facts nonsense we've been living under. I just thought that was just so perfect. And it says the symbolism on this card, the angel is the only figure in the picture. There's no people, or I don't think there's any animals or anything. Here, there is no way around the need to get to grips with one's heavenly potential. This breastplate amulet here, this square with a triangle in it, the triangle stands for femininity and spirituality, and the square stands for masculinity and matter. So bringing these opposite aspects into a state of productive tension. I thought that was a really nice way of, I think that's another way of expressing harmony, productive tension.
And that's
rather than balance. Balance is, to me, balance insinuates to most people 50-50, and 50-50 is an impossible thing to maintain, and it's not normal. Everything's always in flux. So harmony, I like this word, productive tension. The mixing back and forth of, I'm sorry?
I like that too. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. The mixing liquefaction is contradictions are resolved and reconciled by creating a potential difference between them so that things can flow. I mean, this is so, like I said, like you were saying, it's so deep. I mean, you could take one of these sentences and think about it for quite a while and still have more to find.
And everything you just said about that is Libra. Libra is that higher, I mean, it's just that balanced individual. I like the word you used, though. That was a cool statement.
Productive tension.
Productive tension.
Finding the right measure also means achieving the right state of tension if balance, let me start over. Finding the right measure also means achieving the right state of tension and balance of opposites. And boy, I mean, that is what she's walking into. It is more oppositional than it's probably ever been here. You're, close.
Yeah.
It's not. So then if you look at, here's the sun, this right here at the top of the mountains is the sun, okay? And then up here on the top of the angel's head, there's the third eye. But look at all the rays of light that are coming off the angel's head. So the head of the angel and the sun have similar form. They are intended to correspond with each other. When the personal will and the will of fate come together, great things are possible. I mean, just this card I got so excited.
I know.
Like, oh my God, this is so cool. I mean, I didn't have to try to fit anything or tweak it or go, I hope I can tease out one or two positive things here. It's just like, whoa, I just want to dance over everyone. And then, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So there is gray sky, they say, but the sun is at the angel's back, so it's all going to be fine. And then the angel has very fiery wings, and the wings extend beyond the limits of the image. See, they're bigger than what fits in the picture. So that's about new possibilities are always there, and there is no end in sight. I mean, just like the world is her oyster, and it's about combining the infinite with the necessary. So this is just looking at, a couple of her cards. Now, if her soul card was different, you would have 3 cards here. But in the way her numerology works out, you have 1 card to work with, which is the 5, and then the additional, the 14. And I don't want to talk too long and bore people, but I thought I would also throw out there that when I did her, the numerology using this system for her name, she also comes out as a 5 as the Hierophant. So she is that spiritual governmental leader. I mean, it's right there in the definition of the card.
Yeah, I mean, it's all inner chart. She has an Aries moon. Okay, again, she was born under a full moon, and that Aries that gives you that fire that she, I should say, is she is guided by her gut instinct. Has no problem hearing something and making a decision like immediately. The thing I brought this up for is very energizing. Knows, when you know, but that warrior vibe is still there. Action oriented, dynamic. On October 17th, we have an Aries lunar eclipse. It's partial. and it's at 24 degrees. Her moon's at 27. So that's going to come up over. It's going to be after though, right? So whatever happens that spikes during that eclipse for her, right? The energy coming in is really powerful and potent for her.
Right.
And that, for whatever that is, right? It could be many things, but um I do see her like as one of the warrior goddesses. I kept seeing that all day. I haven't really looked at her chart. I haven't looked into it, any of it. I try to stay out of the politics fully. I mean, I know Biden's chart, no Trump's chart, but you know, I don't discuss it on here. But this was really different how we're
So it's a
doing it.
different take on it.
Yeah.
We're not giving an opinion. I'm just giving you a straight reading of and the cards are dictated by her own birth information. It's not
Right.
anything, it's not anything one side or the other.
Right.
These two cards, if we look at her current year, okay, for the year 2024, she has the Justice card and the Tower card. And wait till I read. I just loved it. So with the Justice card as your card, it heralds a new beginning with decisions to be made. Need to assess the pros and cons of various proposals, which is a natural thing. Of course, that's what presidents do, right? A year of adjustment, and she will especially need to assimilate the changes that occurred during the Wheel of Fortune year last year. So she's really been on the Wheel of Fortune if you think about it last year, lots of ups and downs. She will reap what she has sown, and I think that's positive stuff. I think that is a good thing. She could be involved in legal matters, but that's what you get from seeing the scales of justice right here. And you were talking about Libra, so here we've got another, and she is a Libra. So, or handling of financial affairs, and that's the scales of business. So you could also look at those scales as one side is the scales of justice and the other the scale of business, and how do those weigh out. And then the last thing it says is don't hold back. And I just thought that was great. And then, everybody kind of, their little sphincter goes, Tower year, what does that mean? Well, wait till you hear. It says a year of revolution with the shattering of unnecessary forms and structures. It presents an opportunity to dissolve barriers between yourself and others and discover what is really important to you. Excellent year to make breaks with the past, new, fresh future. And what is it that they're all yelling at these rallies is we're not going back.
Wow.
So I thought, she's bringing the Tower with justice to this whole situation. She's going to, you know what I mean? That's how I interpret it.
And I want to say this, on the July 21st was the second full moon in Capricorn. That's the day. Okay, that a lot of astrologers knew that something within government or our systems was going to change because it was the second one in a month. There was going to be a flip. Some people might have got what that was, but I didn't hear it. A couple hours into that day, this Biden supports her. It totally flipped how everything was going.
Yeah. And it was for the good.
And it was for the good, but it was on, you can't make it up. It was on full moon in Capricorn, the second one. And that Tower, where was I going with that? The Tower restructuring the systems. Here we go again, right? Restructuring. She's got that Saturn in Aquarius. Very forward thinking, innovative. But I saved this for last. She has Uranus, Pluto, and Venus conjunct all together in Virgo in the fourth house. I'm sorry. The house of Cancer, the house of mother, the house of nurturing. So.
And they call her Mamala.
Yeah, see,
that's how you know how to say her name right. It's like Mamala. It's Kamala, like Mamala.
It's a person in service to others. A grounded mother, a nurturer, safety, security, discernment. Because with that Pluto there, integrity matters. If you're not in integrity, Pluto will transform things.
Oh yeah.
It's rebirth. It's what it's known for. So being in integrity where you have Pluto really indicates to me, obviously she's vice president. Well, that doesn't necessarily, never mind. And Uranus is there, right? Outside the
Mhm.
box. Again, that Uranus rules Aquarius, that innovative, not humanitarian, not going to do things the normal way. Look, she's not
The
even,
old way,
yeah, she's
things
not
are.
even come into this the normal way. I mean, really, you know,
Mhm.
I think
Oh
she
no,
did
it's all unique. All of
right,
it's unique. And I think
right.
it's all supported between our two different readings supports they support each other in amazing ways.
I mean, this is so crazy, right? And so with that Uranus, well, did I say this in the Sibley? No, in America's birth chart, she has. Well, I might have said it. 28 degree Saturn in Aquarius. America's birth chart has 27-degree Aquarius
Mhm.
um, moon.
Mhm.
Okay, so here we go. The moon in Saturn will be, well, the moon goes around every all month, once a month, right? So it always hits that
Mhm.
point. But to me, that was really interesting to have a degree that close to the America's birth chart. But Venus in Virgo is being of service, detail oriented, cautious, careful. Same, pretty much the same thing
Mhm.
with all of them. Pluto in
Mhm.
Virgo, detail oriented, ability to spot flaws and
Mhm.
imperfections.
Mhm.
Okay, there's that transformation. Oh, well, here it is. Transformation that's grounded in practicality, service to others.
Mhm.
Big thing with Virgo is she's got three main planets there. Virgo is about service to others. It
Mhm.
is the healer of the zodiac, right? It's the
Mhm.
um, very discerning. They don't
Mhm.
miss anything. Okay,
Mhm.
just like that Scorpio doesn't miss anything. So you have these points throughout the chart that are always bringing it back to what's the truth. Where's the truth?
Mhm.
That Uranus is just looking for alternative solutions to everyday problems. I mean, to me, that was perfectly, it's her, coming in with common sense, right?
Mhm.
Common sense has been missing for a while, but it has that ability to give a 360-degree view, right?
Mhm.
Step back
Yeah.
like a neutral observer and see
Should be at the
where,
top of the tower. Like, I mean, look at she knocked the crown off of there, that stupid gold toilet crown up there. She knocked that right off and said, "No, I'm renovating up here. I'm at I'll make a crystal tower, whatever it is. I don't know what she's gonna do, but I think it's pretty." And I also want to mention this is the tip of the iceberg with a reading
yeah,
like this. There are more cards. There's more that is involved. This is just and you can see how what it took to do just a couple of cards. There's a lot, and there's
mhm,
more description
yeah.
into each card for each person. So just to give you guys an idea, if anybody's interested, you
Yeah,
guys.
really. I mean, it was a phenomenal reading. And would you say you had 111 slides when she
Yeah,
did my
on
reading
average,
the other
that's
night?
yeah. And then I also am going to be creating, if people are interested, and this would be, you can either get just this and the reading, or you can get the reading. If you get them both combined, you would get a discount. But I'm making an image that'll have all of your specific tarot constellation in a graphic, and that's something I can send to you, and then you can print it out however you like. You could take it to a printer and have it done big. It's your choice, but that way you have the file to work with to um, you know, do with it as you like.
To refer, yeah,
Your
because I
personal
mean,
tarot mandala.
yeah,
Because
that
it's
that
really
information,
interesting to start, and it's also an encouragement for you to dialogue more with the different cards and the
mhm,
different characters. It's
mhm,
almost like they have a therapy role in a way, a counseling role. I find a way in this
absolutely.
process. So.
I mean, I found out so much about myself, like that, you know, the meaning of the card. Like she goes into the details of the meaning of the cards. And it just really, it was just an aha moment I really needed at that moment. There's no two ways about that. And the, the, the wisdom I gained through that night, the other night, was just
It was an interesting process because
powerful.
it lasted like 36 hours of from the beginning to when it finally worked itself through, you know, and
Yeah.
and it was really interesting. It was interesting to be a part of that and to help however, you know, however we can to help each other. But it was
Yeah.
amazing. And I haven't even had a chance to do my own card yet. So I can't wait to see what I find out. I don't know if I'd want to share it or not, but we'll find out. But you had some really interesting cards for yourself. And I don't know what everybody thinks, if you like this idea or not, but I thought it was really fascinating. And it's something I'm also considering. Well, next week I'm going to be on with Terry Renner, and we were going to do it on Monday, and I'm thinking maybe wait until Kamala decides who her VP is, and then we'll do that person. And if you guys like this and want to hear more through this process, I have more information about Kamala that I can present that also. If Valerie wants to get together with me, we can work on that. If you guys are interested in going deeper on this, we don't have to do it all today, obviously. And so I'm thinking, you know, it might be Monday and it might be another day after that, sometime next week when I'll be on with Terry Runner and we'll do the VP pick. But I'm thinking about maybe doing so, and it could be people who are alive, people are dead. We could really look at them in depth. That might be another fun way to approach this. So you guys let me know if you're interested in any of these ideas.
Yeah, yeah, let us know. Like we're saying, this is just the tip of the iceberg. The readings are a lot longer, but we could do this for other people, alive or dead, like Juno said.
Yeah.
I mean, you can always look at a chart and you could just see these couple of things, and just a couple of things that we've found, and we didn't even speak to each other today until
and they dovetailed right together. We just winged it, you know.
And it's amazing. Just that's how my reading with Juno the other night was. It was just wow. It was powerful, really was. Karen asked, I wonder who she was in her past life.
Yeah, I wonder. Anybody have any hits on that? Do you have any hits, Val?
I kept seeing her as a warrior goddess. I really feel that she, but you know what? Where did she have Pale Athena? Hold on, because that would help me. And she has Neptune in the 6th house of Virgo, like it's in Scorpio, but she is the 6th house is Virgo, the healer, right? I got Neptune there with her, a spiritual healer.
Oh, definitely. And it says that in these cards too, spiritual healing.
Wow.
Really important. She's already done a lot of healing with a lot of people, like you said. I think there's a lot of PTSD that's looking like it might be able to be healed now because you know, the foot is off the gas kind of thing. But I don't want to burn people out by staying too long because we gave them a whole lot of info to digest. So you know, always come back and watch again. And thank you. I really appreciate everybody being here. And you know, if you can give both of us a like on either one of our channels, even if you can't watch the whole thing. Yeah, exactly. Hallelujah, Leah. That's exactly true. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just trying to see a couple of things that.
Yeah, I'm not trying to sign up. I just wanted to let everybody know that, you know, I don't want to talk too long because it's an overwhelming thing to take all this info. And I also would like to know if you guys like the slide presentation idea, if that helps with comprehension at all, because that's something I'm envisioning doing more of with my channel and other. Oh, thanks, T Barb. Thank you so much. Thanks to everybody who's been here. Yep, I like that. Very good.
Yeah, see, and you know, Diane Venus just went she went from a morning star to an evening star.
Oh, okay.
This last few. She might be there. It's right around this time, but that's important because, you know, when she goes in the underworld, right? There's all that death, rebirth, transformation, you know, and then she comes out, and is she's in Leo right now. I mean, we're in Leo season. This is all about the heart. It's all about what you love and value. So I think we're
That's
just gonna
funny.
go on and on. What
You
is
see what
this?
Karen said? Dr. Ruth, Dr. Ruth, God bless her, walked out of her body recently, so that's really funny.
Mhm.
That's a
The
whole nother way
Dr.
of
Ruth
looking
of
at it. But
astrology.
yeah,
You're hilarious.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
But thank
thanks. I'm
you.
glad you like it. I
Yeah.
appreciate the feedback. And and you can leave comments under the video, even if you just leave a short comment, even if you were in the live chat, it really helps us,
Yeah.
the algorithm, and we're both trying to, the we're all struggling to keep it all going. So anything you guys can do to support us, we are really, really grateful of any and all of that.
We do really
And I
appreciate
will
it.
be on, like I said, next week, excuse me, with Terry Renner. And I just posted a video yesterday on black tourmaline. So if you're interested in crystals and things like that, there's some mythology and history and some fun stuff in there if you'd like to watch that. I'd appreciate it.
Okay, then I got two things. I was pulled cards before we started. I got
Mhm.
the Aries cards that really hit on her moon and that lunar eclipse coming up. So
Mhm.
kind of keep that in mind as we go forward. And then I got Gates of Triumph. Success expands in life. I just feel it feels like that with her. Like we just
Yeah,
went through a really cool gateway, and
definitely. Oh yeah, big time. Feels like a wormhole,
yeah,
you know? But
but
and I
yeah,
think because a wormhole is in a spiral, I think we dodged a lot of nasty stuff because we went this way. They thought we were going to go one way, and we went this way.
exactly.
You
Yep.
know, that's why I
And you
love it.
could feel it. You could feel the disappointment from them in the air as everybody in the world cheered, right? Oh my goodness. All right,
Anyway,
y'all. We will be back. I'll be back Friday night. I'm going to be on Allie's channel at
oh,
9.
cool.
She's my Friday night date. So I will see you then. Juno, we'll see you on Monday, maybe. Is that what you said, Juno?
Yeah, well, I'm thinking if I haven't talked to Terry yet, but if we're going to find out on Tuesday who the new VP is, maybe we should wait. Maybe we'll put off the show and do it because we had talked about. We were hoping we would know the VP before, and it'll take me a day to prepare to do that
Yeah.
show. So I would say Wednesday at the earliest is what I'm guessing because we might as
Okay.
well wait. And if you guys have suggestions of other people that you would like me to do this for, put those in the chat too. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Please give us all your feedback. We appreciate you. We love you very much.
Definitely.
And we will be back. We'll see you soon. Thank you for
Bye,
hanging
everybody.
out with us.
Love you guys. Bye.
Love you.